Okay, after a lengthy delay after the incident, we have got a couple of we've got one or two carts. Well, one cart that is not going to start. But here is the grid for the mini final after about a 15 or so minute delay. Milan Becu and George Dismay will start on the front row. Becu on pole. Lewis Boots and Denver Boz will be on row 2. Julian van der Kottelek, Didier de Darlin, Mathis Piessens, Dorian Grandjean, Dan Van Dam and Adriana Kumbo round out your top 10. Joshua Lorison, Manuel Laurent, Theo Randax, Milo Cornil, Loterio Fernandez, Luc Clé, Edouard Berger, Artem Kikireshko, Marcus Engen-Azen and Thiago Onik ran out the top 20. Completing the 36 strong are set to be Matteo Campobello, Maxime Bonclé and Louis Bieland. Sem Sazlik, Tom Dams, then we've got Lenzo Mengual, Louis Paternotte, Rosalind May Heineke, Bram Konings, François Collignon, Philippe Massard, Axel Linders, Thiago Hollebeke, Tim Feldman, Amin Pantoli and Ron Boerma. One cart did not get started. They might have been able to get that cart started and fired up again, but they were only going to do one formation lap. So, down into the final couple of corners. So the drivers make their way into the tram lines for the final time this weekend. We are underway. Good start by Milan Becu as Lewis Boots jumps up the inside through on George Dismay. And now they are filtering their way up, hurtling high speeds. Oh, bit of a moment there for Lewis Boots. And there's a turnaround, someone spun just in front of the field. They managed to get through but it's getting a bit too close for comfort through turn 4. Several drivers going high, wide and handsome to the outside. But Becu has bolted. And one's gone off. That will be, I think, Louis Bieland in the 804 from RSD Karting. Looked like a 0-4 at the end of it, but Milan Becu holding on to the race lead. There's been an incident at the chicane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carts involved. And that was the 817 coming in at full speed. Had to put on the brakes. That was Dorian Grandjean. Luckily enough, I think it was only the right rear tyre that decided to clip the barriers of the rear bumper. We got the 898 off. And that's Didier de Darlin. Didier de Darlin is out. Oh my goodness. First big casualty. And Didier de Darlin has tumbled down the order. He's not the only one. Luterio Fernandez, Theo Handax, Dan Van Dam, Luc Clé, Dorian Grandjean. Oh my goodness. They are dropping like flies at the moment, starting at the sharp end of the field. And now we've got so many drivers that are out of position. So many drivers have profited. Looking to see who has made up places. Amin Panteli and Juan Boerma are now 23rd and 22nd. They've both made up a combined 26 places between them. Battle for 4th place really starting to heating up as the top 3 really are starting to break away initially. So Milan Becu leads. Lewis Boots, Mathis Piessens from 7th on the grid now runs P3. 4th is going to be Julian van der Kottelek. There's a 5-second time penalty going somebody's way. We'll wait until the number's confirmed on the live timing. But Lewis Boots right on the rear as Denver Boz up the inside at turn 3. 4th place for the Flying Dutchman for WJS Racing. He's through on Julian van der Kottelek from Henza Racing on the 832. They've got Jos Desmay not too far behind. Milo Cornil, Adriana Kumbo up 2 positions. She's just in front of Thiago Onik, who's made up 11 places, runs P9 ahead of Artem Kikireshko from the Ukraine. Frantic first 3 minutes of this final, but Becu is starting to pull an initial advantage. We're about to complete lap number 3, so Milan Becu has decided, right, time to put the hammer down, time to get away from everybody else. So Becu leads by nearly 4/10 over Boots. Piessens running out the top 3. Denver Boz has just put in the new fastest lap of the race of 104.5. by the 887. And now Desmay versus Van der Cotelet. And Desmay cannot get through. Desmay started on the outside of the front row when we went green just over 3.5 minutes ago. Well, Didi Dadala has got the 898 going again. Started 6, now runs last. A disaster for the Belgian. But Denver Boz is starting to catch the top 3. He's only 6/10 behind, but that gap is rapidly closing. So Biesens behind Boots, behind Beku, who leads as we come round to complete lap number 4 as the sunshine starts to intensify here on the last race of the weekend. And Boots is closing that gap, 0.265. Denver Boz, second successive fastest lap, and he's within striking distance. He's less than 4.5 tenths behind. Mathis Biesens is going to go for the move up the inside, through on Lewis Boots, nearly got Milan Beku at the same time, but thought better of it. Thought, okay, one's enough, don't get greedy. And Denver Boz is absolutely charging forwards. George Desmay now up into 5th place, past Julian van der Cotelet. Thiago Onik is also on a bit of a tear, and he's battling away with Milo Cornel for 7th position. And now Beku started to pull away. Denver Boz there waiting in the wings. Glance over the right shoulder by Mathis Biesens into turn number 11. And Denver Boz is now putting the feelers out. You can see by the way the driving style of the 887 from the Netherlands. He's right with Mathis Biesens coming out of the final corner and is going to have the run, have the slipstream. Denver Boz looks to the right-hand side. Up the inside he goes, and through is the Flying Dutchman up to 3rd place, and he points forward and says, right, let's go chasing these 2 down. But George Desmay and Julian van der Cotelet have latched onto the train. The top 6 on the previous lap were covered by 1.4 seconds. I would probably say that's going to be about 7 to 8 tenths between this 6-car peloton at the front end of the field. Any one of these drivers can win this race. I mean, Panteli's made his way nearly halfway up the field at the moment. He started 35th. He's now 20th ahead of Rowan Bouama in 21st. So keep your eyes on the 845. And it's 3 wide. Oh, my goodness me. Julian van der Cotelet with a sterling move up the inside at turn 12 and got through on Mathis Biesens and also George Desmay. And now Mathis Biesens returns the favour, gets back up into 4th position. Whilst that's happening, Boots and Beku are being reeled in by Boz. And he's right with them into turn 3. Here on lap number 7, Denver Boz has been the quickest driver out of anybody over every single lap of this race so far. Last year's mini rookie champion has said to the field, here's the warning shot, I'm going hunting. So 3 3/4 minutes to go here in the mini final. And, well, it's anyone that could win this race. But the top 3, all 3 of them, there's a bit of alliteration on the surnames, all start with the letter B. It's Beku, Boots and Boz battling away. Biesens is holding on to 4th at the moment, ahead of Julian van der Cotelet and George Desmay. Thiago Onik now up 13 spots and is 7th. Great run by the 835. And now up to 2nd goes Denver Boz. He's pointing forwards. He is not looking behind him. He is fully focused on the task at hand. So Milan Beku has got another driver in the ranks as now Boots up the inside through turn 8. Nice move between the pair. And Boz gave Boots enough room to not cause a calamity behind. And Thiago Holebaker's dropped to 27th position. And still Denver Boz trying to do what he can to close in on the top two. About to complete lap number 8 with 2 minutes and 20 on the clock, plus an additional lap. And at the pace they're running, a 104.2, well, Denver Boz last lap was a 104.7. The battle for 4th, 5th and 6th has really heated up, as I think maybe, yes, George Desmay now back up into 4th position, ahead of Julian van der Cotelet and Matthijs Piesens. Great three-way battles that we got for 1st and for 4th place. 7th, Thiago Onink holding on to P7 ahead of the 8.29 of Milo Cornel. They've got a gap between them of about 2.3 seconds as Manuel Laurent and Edouard Berger are battling over the last 2 spots in the top 10. And there's a change again. Van der Cotelet has had Matthijs Piesens, I think, go through. Denver Boz is not done yet by a long shot. He is still keeping time with those other 2 drivers out of the top 3 in front of him. So 3 laps to go, 4.5 tenths cover the top 3. And the quickest out of the trio was the person in second. But Lewis Boots is coming under fire now from Denver Boz, who switches to the inside. Boots goes to cover off, can't make it, goes too late, reacts too late, because Denver Boz knew what he was going to do. Lewis Boots too late to react, and nearly could have made it 3 wide going into 3. This is an absolutely spellbinding race, despite the trials and tribulations we had around about 25 minutes ago with the calamity going into the final corner. The next time around, we'll have 2 laps to go. Lewis Boots back in front of Denver Boz for P2. This has been a great race between these 3, but Milan Beku now knows that this is his opportunity to pull away. It was just nearly 2 3/4 tenths of a second. I would probably say it's about 4 to 5 tenths that he will have an advantage for. So Beku crosses the line, 2 laps to go. 0.776, so that has been trebled at least. And Julian van der Cotelet running on his own. Thiago Onink is in 4th. Denver Boz back through again on Lewis Boots, coming out of turn 2 in the run into turn number 3. However, Milan Beku is in control, calm and calculated. No overdriving that car. Once again, through into turn 8. Lewis Boots just has Denver Boz's number around that corner. I think it's Boots just deciding to send it through quite late. Denver Boz switches to the outside through into turn number 11 here on the penultimate lap of the race. So lap 10 out of 12. But 1.45 kilometres, 15 turns to go to conclude the race meeting. Final lap of the weekend, final lap of the final underway. Denver Boz, you nearly did try that, didn't you, Sunshine? He nearly went for the outside move on Lewis Boots into turn 1. Well, he's carried the momentum through. Boots goes defensive into 3, blocks off the door so Denver Boz can't get through. However, the WJS Racing driver gets the purchase coming out of turn 3, and he was looking for the opportunity. Lewis Boots just covers that off really nicely. Had one move, made it, stayed on the racing line. Boz unable to get through. But Milan Beku, the 899 from Eichmann's Grand Prix, is away and clear. That gap is going to be at least 1.5 to 1.6 seconds by the time we hit the checkered flag at least. But this time, Denver Boz, can he go for a move on Lewis Boots to steal second in the dying moments of the race? Handful of corners to go. And after 12 laps, Milan Beku will again do the unthinkable. He's cantered away to the victory. It's a maximum score for the 899 from Belgium. And Eichmann's Grand Prix have double delight, ranking after heats leader. And now the winner of the final, Milan Beku, did a great job, great battling between, and look, the sportsmanship. Denver Boz, Lewis Boots, go over to congratulate. They all realise how talented this young individual is. And this is it. Thumbs up. The cool-down lap commences. Milan Beccu victorious. After a 12-lap extravaganza, we had a little bit of a drama in the opening couple of tours, but Beccu got his head down, got the job done. Maximum score heading to Genk in July. Beccu wins ahead of Boots and Boz. All three Bs on the podium provisionally at this point. The top three covered by 2.7 seconds. Gillian van der Cotelet, Milo Cornel, Thiago Onink, Manuel Laurent, Mathis Piesens, Joshua Lorison and Tom Dams rounding out the top 10. Thiago Onink, 14 places gained. Tom Dams rounding out the top 10, 15 places gained. Louis Bielon came from 23rd to finish 11th. Marcus Engen Assen, started 19th, finished 12th. Louis Petronot started 27th, finished 13th. Artem Kikireshko started 18th, finished 14th. Adriana Kumbo for the Gepa Racing driver, well, she rounds out the top 15, having started 10th. And tu as roulé bien aujourd'hui dans le final, Amine Pantoli. 19 places gained from the inside of the final row to 16th, ahead of Lento Mengual, Maxime Von Crane, Ron Buema and Matteo Campobello rounds out the top 20. Axel Linders, Dorian Grandjean, Theo Handax, Dan Van Dam, Thiago Hollebeek, François Collignon, Rosalind May Heineke rounds out the top 27 ahead of Luc Clay, Philippe Massad and Luterio Fernandez. The last three finishers in that race, Didi Dale, Tim Feldman and Bram Connix. Edouard Berger out on the last lap. George Desmay out on lap 9.